This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Jay Banky. Again, difficult conversations as, Thursday, we kind of all got the news that the Browns were out on Deshaun Watson.
And it was relieving there for a second, I ain't going to lie.
I was definitely relieved. And I know if you go strictly to football, you can have the conversation all day long. Who's better, Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield? And most of the time, it's going to be Deshaun Watson. I will say that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. I understand this team wanting to upgrade, and even the people that have kind of brought Baker's immaturity back into question. I understand all that. I am not going to argue that. I think some of it goes too far. Some of it gets too personal. That's Brown's Twitter for you. That's the stupid Twitter spaces. I'm not going to go on a rant about those right now. There are some good ones, but most of the time they are ridiculous. This is much more of a realistic space where we talk, trying to figure out ways to get more people kind of being able to interact with us, but you can always comment on the live stream that you're watching or tweet at us throughout the show. But we get to Friday and feeling relieved, just more moral compass-wise. Deshaun Watson, everything that goes with him. The number 22 still sticks out more than $230 million to me. And then about 3:45, Adam Schefter tweets out that Deshaun Watson had changed his mind, and he decided to come to the Cleveland Browns. We posted a poll at VTL_pod and closed now, but over 200 votes, and asking. It was pretty simple. Good move or bad move for the Browns to continue to basically pursue him and still make the trade when he decided that he was willing to come here and waive his no-trade clause. 59% said good move. 41% said bad move. Jay, I'll ask you, good move, bad move, but also, where were you? This is one of those stories. It's like, I remember where I was, or where were you when? How did you find out, and just the reaction, and again, of course, good move, bad move?
I was just telling Peter beforehand. I was telling you earlier on the phone, I was sick. So I was all doped up on NyQuil and DayQuil all day and half asleep. And my friend from work had sent me a screenshot of the tweet, and I'm like, I felt like the kid in that dental thing, like, you're so messed up. Like, is this real life? Like, and I just think I fell right back asleep. And then I woke up. I'm like, did that really just happen? Like, what? And I was like, just in complete shock and still kind of distraught from being sick. Yeah, I mean, you guys heard me. I've thought for sure Baker was coming back. I was very vocal on Twitter. I did not want Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to deny how good he is on the field. I didn't want all this that goes with it. And that poll shows you, like, if we get someone of his character, no matter what we gave up, this ain't like the bad move. That 41%, they don't care about the salary cap hit. They don't care about giving up 3 picks or first-round picks. They care about what this dude allegedly could have done. And I feel so bad for a lot of our female fans, and I've seen a lot of my friends on there who say they're just not going to root for Browns no more. Like, well, they hope the best for us, but some people are just being rude and going at them. Like, let people react how they're going to react, because you haven't been what they've been through. So everyone's going to react differently to this news. Like, this is polarizing. This isn't just – if it was any other player at that stature, we'd all be – if you thought the OBJ celebration was something when we signed him or traded for him, there'd be a parade, like I was telling Peter already. We would literally have a parade. But no, it's like a dark cloud over this trade. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you asked me back in 2019, like if this happened back in 2019, or if the Browns would have put in the card for Deshaun Watson because he fell to him at 12 with the Chiefs trading up in that draft at number 10 to get Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson was right there at 12. Didn't think we were going to have a chance at any of those guys that they were talking about that year. And they traded with the Houston Texans to go all the way down into the 20s, to low 20s, to give the Texans Deshaun Watson. If you would ask me then or back in 2019, yeah, I would have been at the OBJ trade level that we were at back then. Now, I'm not. I even tweeted out. I didn't tease my response for this Twitter poll. I'm not trying to make any jokes. When we talk about polarizing, there's the kind of back and forth with polarizing like Baker Mayfield, where Baker bros versus Baker bashers. That's kind of like sometimes in jest. This is a whole different level of polarizing, and we're not going to tell anybody how to feel. Now, I may tell people, don't tell people how to feel. Those people that are being rude like that on Twitter and in Brown's Twitter and in these spaces, because I've tuned into a couple of them that are getting on people that are saying they're done with the Browns. That's unnecessary.
It's a lack of empathy.
It is a lack of empathy and understanding. I almost tweeted out, and this isn't to get clicks or likes and even people to comment right now on it. I almost tweeted out because I can see it in my head, this image of the number 22, the greater than symbol, and 230 million. 22 greater than 230 million. The Browns knew that they could get Deshaun Watson by giving him 5 years, fully guaranteed $230 million contract to extend on to the contract that he had that was coming over from the Houston Texans. They knew that they could get him that way. Guess what? The 22 alleged cases of sexual assault and abuse, and however it's phrased in the legal documents of the civil cases that are out there right now, that should matter more. I know the Browns finally announced the trade today, and everybody had their comments, and everybody wanted to hear from especially D. Haslam, because that's the big one. But I don't care about a corporate statement that it's taken over 48 hours, or maybe less than, but about 48 hours to put out and word the right way from all of them. I want to hear them in person in a press conference, and I want actions to speak louder than words. It's still alleged, but just because the legal case was dropped or they didn't pursue any actual federal charges against Deshaun Watson, that does not automatically make him innocent. I'm not saying that all 22 are telling the truth. I'm not saying that all 22 are lying. I have a hard time believing when there are 22 women stating these cases, and the Browns said they did extensive research, and whether you think that the lawyer for these cases is shady or not, and people were bringing up his past today after he made the comment that the Browns did not reach out. NFL teams have not reached out to him. You're only getting one side of the story. There might be lies from the civil case side. There might be lies from Deshaun's side. You're not getting the full story. It's not extensive. What is extensive even mean? You're now telling me a lot without telling me anything, just like every single front office does. But in this case, it is unacceptable. I've kind of battled myself whether I'm should my fandom change? Because Cleveland is all I've known.
The exact reason I wanted to wear something that said Cleveland.
And I wore something that had like all the teams mixed in and just had a C, and it's the Cavs C that I've always kind of liked a lot more than the black C for the old school Indians. The new one's kind of nice, but again, it's just a plain old C. I'm not getting into that right now. There's more important things to talk about, and these are difficult conversations to have. Again, if people feel differently and they want to look at the football side and what this could do for the Browns, what it could bring them, I don't know that I could ever change being a Cleveland fan and being a Browns fan. But I have a hard time at least rooting for this guy or being excited like I would have been 3 years ago or 2 years ago even for bringing in Deshaun Watson. I can't do that. I cannot. If other people can and they're focused on the rumors of the guys that the Browns are talking to, trying to bring back Clowney, trying to bring back Landry, part of that to me feels like a PR move, a good gesture to Browns fans to bring back a guy that everybody beloved in Jarvis Landry and a guy that helped Myles Garrett in Jadeveon Clowney. I cannot get into the football side at all. My mind is not transitioned there. Other people have, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to condemn them. There are people condemning those that are saying that they're not going to be fans anymore or having a very hard time and are very conflicted. And that is what makes me more frustrated. I need to hear from the Browns and physically hear, not read. Jay, where are you at fandom wise? Because you've been a season ticket holder. You've definitely been a fan even longer than I have, and you've kind of had more experiences down there and more interacting with fellow Browns fans. Where are you at personally with this team and with this decision?
It's tough. Like, I sat there for a couple days, and I'm like, dude, I mean, can I root for these guys? Like, that's really wrong. But I just disagree with the move. But I'm always going to be loyal to the Browns more than the players and to the fans and to the city. But this isn't a Browns problem.
No.
This is an NFL problem is what it really boils down to. Like, if you go through every team almost, there's like someone with some kind of bad background almost on every team. And they really need to step up their game and start doing something with actions. If that means setting up programs for youth football players and starting early and like teaching them early what you can and can't be doing and stuff and trying to change it early. Do something. You got to do something. Because what they're doing right now is unacceptable, I think.
And there's a point in that I want to hit on, kind of on the other side of the break. But before we go to break, Peter, I want to get your thoughts on this because it is still a real conversation. And, you know, we kind of talk, Jay and I kind of talk more of the football and the basketball at times. But you and Jacob are sitting here watching Browns games when we come in, especially the 4 o'clock ones. I mean, where are you at with all of this? Because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this since it all happened.
Well, honestly, like you guys, I think I was relieved when it looked like he wasn't coming here. And, like, yes, he's a great quarterback. You know, from a football standpoint, I think it's a great move by the Browns. But from all the baggage he brings and just the character, you know, and here's the thing: he hasn't been found guilty of anything.
Right.
There are allegations. You know, I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but that's a lot of people coming forward. You know, and I heard some various things where it was 9 women and this or that, but I just looked it up again. Yeah, it's 22 different women, and it's like a wide variety of allegations.
Yep.
So I think it's almost a cultural issue, not just with the NFL,
Yes.
but with football in general. I mean, we hear stories about this NFL or college NCAA football players, high school football players. I mean, we had an issue a couple years ago in Steubenville.
I was just about to say it.
So, I mean, that made national headlines, and it's really disheartening, you know, to hear this. And like I said, I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but it's kind of hard to.
Like I was telling you, if we were on an island, Kevin, and we all got stranded there, and there was 100 girls and 100 guys, we don't have any kind of technology to prove anything. But if one guy comes up and or one girl comes up and says, "This guy did that," and like, is there any way you can prove it? You're like, no, it's one person's word against another, and
right.
You feel bad, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Now, if 22 women on that island come up and say, "This dude is doing this to us," I mean, you're off the island, bro. I mean, that's how it would be. And that's what it's the system that everything has to go through is fairly broken, probably.
And the system in society of how difficult it is for people to come forward with this. I mean, it happens to women. It's happened to men. I mean, sexual abuse is it's a terrible thing. And it's very difficult for people to talk about. And it's also unfortunate that there is a culture in football. Yes, I understand the whole, you know, everybody deserves a second chance. You know, Kareem Hunt got a second chance. Other players have gotten second chances, and it's not just a Browns problem. I want to touch on that, though, because people are bringing this up on Twitter in other conversations about, like, well, it's just the NFL, and that's just how it goes. So, like, you just gotta deal with it. It's not just the Browns' problem. It's going on in the NFL. So I'm just going to still watch football because, you know, it just is what it is. No one wants to speak up.